Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
Partner is a special guest, one of Hollywood's brightest young actresses, Miss Evelyn Rudie. So, folks, come in and meet Groucho Marx.
My mother knows Cary Grant.
Oh, Evelyn, I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you, too.
I'm glad to see you. It isn't every day we have a big star up there. You must be the smallest big star in town, huh? How old are you, about 43?
Madam, who is that young lady there that we just saw there?
That's me.
What's her name?
Oh, gracious me.
When I saw that, I said, oh, you've got to put that in there. Got to put that in there.
What a great memory.
Yes, indeed. Our first guest today grew up as a child star, receiving an Emmy nomination at the age of 6 and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at the age of 9. Now, she guest starred on television for many years. This year, our guest celebrates 52 years. 52 years of co-artistic director leadership together with her husband, Chris DiCarlo of Santa Monica Playhouse, along with other organizations, including the Jewish Heritage Series. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Evelyn Rudie.
Hello there, Ron.
How you doing, lady? How you doing? Great. And welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thank you so much. It is so wonderful to be here.
Now, first question I always ask, where are you from? Where were you born at?
I was born at in Hollywood, in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
I am a first-generation Hollywoodian and have lived here all my life. Actually, in the same house, we moved to this house when I was 4 years old on Hollywood Boulevard, and I've been there ever since.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Tony, would you take the number 10 for me? This is Evelyn way back when she was young, got a lot of work. Her first work came in 1955, TV series for the Ford Television Theater. That was your first job.
That's
right.
Number
10 at 10.
With Lamont Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on to be a wonderful, wonderful star and theater director. He had a great theater in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then, according to IMDb, you were chosen to play the roles of Eloise in 1956 to 1957.
That's right. It was Playhouse 90, the 90-minute live show, which was more like a play than like a television show, because it was basically, the whole thing was live. You rehearsed it like a play.
Yeah.
And the only difference was, instead of the set changing, you walked from set to set if you had a different background. But other than that, it was all live the whole time. There were no do-overs, no second takes. And it was a fantastic experience. All the people that I worked with in that show, Kay Thompson, and of course, Conrad Hilton, met him then, and Monty Woolley, Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum. So many wonderful people.
Have you written a book or two?
I haven't written a book at all, and we have so many experiences, and people say, that should go into the book. And then I say, yes, you're right, that should go into the book, and maybe make a little note. I have a folder on my computer that says possible ideas. And in that goes, oh, this happened then, and this happened then, and then we met this person, and then my costume fell off on this night. And so, but so far, I keep saying I might do it someday when I retire, but I have no plans to retire. So who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
And then in 1958, you took on the role of The Gift of Love with Lauren McCall and Robert Stack.
I did. It was the most wonderful, wonderful experience to work with both of them. Lauren was absolutely amazing as a role model for me. And her kids came to visit one time with a nanny, and she was having an argument with the director and was just about to use some really strong language. And the nanny said, "Oh, I'm taking the kids outside. I'm taking them for a breath of fresh air." And somebody else said, "Well, what about Evelyn? She's also a child." And Lauren said, "She's not a child. She's an actress. She can stay." And that was wonderful. And of course, Robert Stack, later when my husband and I took over the Santa Monica Playhouse, he was one of our biggest supporters. He wrote letters and he just commended us so tremendously for doing theater.
We have a picture of that handsome young man that you're married to.
Chris DiCarlo.
Yes, there it is.
Yes. Oh, it's my favorite picture. Just, oh, and that's my other favorite picture. I love that.
Oh, Tony, thank you, thank you, thank you. What was it like working with all those stars when you were only 6 years of age?
It was amazing. I was very fortunate, I think, because I've seen so many of other young actors who went off different paths that were not maybe as supportive as they should have been. I had a great supportive family. And fortunately, every wonderful actor that I ever worked with treated me like a professional, like an actor, not like a kid. I remember my first film, Daddy Longlegs, with Fred Astaire and Leslie Caron. And I was walking past his dressing room and he was having a political conversation with someone. I don't remember what it was, but it didn't agree with what my father and mother and I believed, what I had heard at home. And I walked in and I said, "I think you're wrong." And I told him why. And he said, "Well, I think you're wrong." And he told me why. We had a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And every single one of the artists that I've worked with, Red Skelton, George Gobel, Groucho Marx, Groucho was a mentor. I was friends with his daughter, Melinda, who I met on that show that we had seen the clip of. And I used to hang out with her. And when we would go to her house, he would come and he would tell stories about how you develop comedy and what he did, he and his brothers, how they never ever did a film without doing everything first in the club to act it out in theater and work out the really fine points, and then they would do the films. And he introduced me to the Carry On films, all of Carry On Doctor and Carry On Nurse. So many wonderful experiences you just can't believe. It was terrific.
Okay. Current status of the Santa Monica Playhouse.
Santa Monica Playhouse, which is now in its 65th year. I got there in 1966, and my husband Chris got there in 1964, and then returned in 66 after Vietnam, and that's where we met. And the Playhouse was founded by James Arness, Eric Braden, and Holocaust survivor Ted Roeder. And when we took over in 1973, we developed an acting company and a repertory of plays, which we've been doing ever since. The only tragedy at the moment is that last year in July, we had a water damage disaster of the main stage, and it was completely destroyed. And we just 2 days ago signed all the papers from the insurance companies who finally decided it was okay for us to start the rebuild.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's, we're doing fundraising, and we've got wonderful local and national artists, Paul Link and Wendy Hammers, Eddie Frierson, so many that are going to do fundraisers for us for the Save the Main Stage campaign.
Yes.
It's very exciting to know that it's coming back. And fortunately, we have 2 other little spaces in our theater, so we've been able to continue all of our work since the disaster.
There's a lot of pride that goes along with that Playhouse. In fact, as I'm reading this, the LA Times made a statement. They said, Santa Monica Playhouse is the oldest continuously operating theater in LA, home of world premiere shows, family theater, musicals, workshops, and educational programming, as well as newly introduced Zoom. That's where you live at.
That's where we live at. And it's what we do 24 hours a day. We eat, breathe, live, think theater. And I think theater is the the breeding ground sounds like a bad word, breeding, but it is where shows come from, where stories come from.
Yes.
It is the fact that it's live, the fact that audiences are there with you. They are part of the process. You can see a film and love a film, and I adore films, but they're done. They're there. You can applaud, you can not applaud, you can laugh, or you can go to the bathroom and come back, and it doesn't change what you're watching. But in theater, you can do a show for 10 years or 20 years, and every night is different. And every night you are affecting people. They sit through that experience, they endure it, whether they liked it or not. It changes them, and it changes them forever, because they were there and had this human experience, which is why we are doing what we're doing.
I love to go to places like where you have, and I have a bone that I have with a lot of people. They come here to LA, they want to be a star. We know what that is. But they do film, but they don't get up on that stage. What's wrong with them people?
I don't know. I think what happens is they're so committed to what seems like the glamour, and it seems like I want to be a big star. I want to have the whole world adore me. I've always discovered, and I love Wikipedia, and I love looking at the backgrounds of all of the actors that I like. And I've really seen that the strongest, most wonderful performances come from actors who have a theater background. Theater is where everything is born, where everything comes from. And you learn so many skills in theater that you then need in film. But in theater, you're living something. You're living from beginning to end.
A young lady who I know very well, Shelley Fisher. I've known that lady for a long, long time. Tony, you got that picture of that beautiful lady known as the Hillbilly.
Beverly Hillbilly, the Hebrew Hillbilly.
Yes.
Yes, she's been doing that show. It's the longest running musical solo show in the country, and she's been doing it at the Playhouse for the last almost 11 years now. It's amazing. It's so about her life and about the music industry and about prejudice and about all the different things that made her who she is today. She's gorgeous.
There she is, beautiful blonde. Yes. We just happen to have a small cut of her. Can you roll that, Tony? Ready? Don't have it, sorry. Okay, we had it. Okay, we'll move on. That was a picture of her because she's doing the Power League show. She told me she's going to be coming in either in September or October.
Back to the Playhouse again. Yes.
In that Playhouse.
She is.
When it comes to coming to what you do, and you spend as a person, how do you get people in, and how do you make them come on in? There's a show coming up. How do you do that?
In a variety of different ways. We, of course, we have a big emailing list, and so we let people know through email. We have a website where people can find out everything that is playing. The biggest issue that all little theaters have is if you have a list of people that want to go see your plays, well, great, you let them know what's coming. If you have a person who wants to see theater in general, they may go online and go, oh, I'm going to be in Santa Monica. There's a theater. What do I want to see? But what about all of those people who are not raised to include theater as part of their existence? It's, theater costs $1,200 a ticket on Broadway, and I have a family of 4. How can I afford that? And they don't understand the excitement of intimate theater. Los Angeles, and we discovered this when we were traveling, we do a lot of touring abroad.
Yes.
We found out that Los Angeles has more intimate theaters than any other city in the world. It has little closet theaters, and it has intimate theaters, and it has storefront window theaters. It has everything. It is such a wonderful incubator for actors and also for the work. So what we do is word of mouth. We talk to people. We go out into the street. We're by the 3rd Street Promenade. We hand out flyers. We ask all of the people who do love theater to tell their friends about theater, because that's the way those things grow. If somebody comes and says to you, I saw this great play, you really have to go see it, you're much more likely to go than if you just read it someplace or maybe got a website by accident. So that is what we do. We reach out, and we have a wonderful conservatory program starting at age 4, where we are again, our thrust is not to make stars. It's not even to make actors. It's to allow young people a place to grow, a place to be committed, to grow their imagination and their self-confidence, and to grow a love of theater, so that they want to go and they want to bring their parents and they want to bring their friends.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, folks, the Binge Free Festival begins February 25th through March 30th. If you go up on our device here, you'll see the entire place, who, date, place, and time, what's happening.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Put that in there. Definitely.
Amazing. It's our free festival. We've been doing free festivals for the last, almost 40 years, but the BFF Binge Fringe Festival of Free Theater, we started in 2016. We've gotten wonderful support from the city, from the county, from the community, and it is part of our mandate to provide accessible and affordable theater to everyone in the community. And so all of those shows are completely free to everyone. There are workshops where people can actually participate in the workshops. They can create plays. They can do all kinds of things like that, and plays for kids and plays for adults about all different kinds of subjects. And it's very, very exciting. We just can't wait for it to start.
We're on FB Facebook, and you'll see the entire list of what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, please go. It is a fun, and we'll see you. I personally will see you when you come down there for the opening. I have been on that down at your place numerous times.
Oh, cool. That's wonderful. Super.
Evelyn, it's been an outstanding experience working with you today. I hope that all of our viewers have a good time. That's going back to the years of a 9-year-old actress who earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and is now a renowned co-artistic director at Santa Monica Playhouse. I want to thank you, your publicist, and a good friend, Philip Sokolov.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful man, Philip Sokolov. Terrific guy.
For what you do, all I have to say is one thing, madam, and that's break a leg. Break a leg.
Thank you very, very much, Ron. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thank you, my dear. God bless you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today has written and produced several plays and musicals over the course of a career of both London and Los Angeles. Now, most recently, she produced Farm Boy. Our guest is here to show a new play that she's doing called You Cannot Know Lower. That's a great play she put together. Please welcome, if you will, Dr. Katrina Wood.
Katrina, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Wood. Dr. Wood.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And welcome to the Actor's Choice. First question, where was you born?
I was born in London, in England, and grew up there. That was my childhood. Went to school there. And then as my father was a film actor, British character actor, he worked a lot here. And so my childhood was sort of divided between being in London and being in, well, actually I grew up just outside of London in a place called Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire, because Pinewood Studios was out there. So all the actors, you know, Bob Shaw, Richard Harris, Sean Connery, everybody moved out to Beaconsfield because it was close to the studios. So we lived out there, and then a lot of films were done here in LA, you know, as you know. And so we kind of had one foot in both places for most of my childhood.
Okay. Just looking around, seeing that you've got so many things doing it. Let's see, what am I going to say about to this lady? Can you tell me, where was you born? So what was it like growing up in England?
Was it like growing up in England in the 60s?
Yes.
70s? It was, you know, It was Austin Powers. It was, Chelsea. It was Kensington. It was the Beatles. It was the Rolling Stones. It's the heyday. It was the heyday. I mean, you couldn't have been in London at a better time, to be honest. Everything was happening, and you'd watch any Austin Powers movie, and you know what London was like. It was great. It was great. I think it's probably the best era.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Interesting. At the age of 19, I'm told, you were working as an assistant stage manager at the Lincoln Theatre Rome.
Royal,
Right.
yes.
Royal.
Lincoln Theatre Royal, yes.
Yes. When the winter of Christmas musical was taken ill.
A Christmas Carol. We were doing a Christmas Carol, and the composer was taken ill. And so the director was kind of in a panic and said, does anybody know how to write music? And I said, well, yeah, I know how to write music. I'm trained, I know how to play the piano. And so I'll let me do it. Let me have a go. So I had a go, and then it, it was quite a hit, and it was a lot of fun to do. And that was my sort of trial by fire, I guess.
And you never look back from that day.
No, probably not. Probably not. It's amazing when you're up against a gun and you got to do something and you go, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's like that's how you learn, That's how you learn what you're capable of, I guess, in a way.
So it was, as I'm saying here, what was it like after that experience? You just keep on going, just keep on
After that experience, I went and worked. Yeah, I worked for the National Opera Company. And I started to sort of develop. I played in a lot of clubs and pubs in London with a friend of mine, and we just wrote original music, and we did the pubs and the clubs and did folk music. That's where we started. And sort of kind of developed from there. So I just got my hand in playing and developing music and writing, and it was the environment I grew up in. When you grow up in a theatrical environment, you're kind of forced to be creative. You don't really have a choice, really.
This is my favorite word, Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shakespeare's everywhere.
Indeed.
Shakespeare's in this play. Shakespeare's in You Cannot Know the Hour. Shakespeare is all in that.
We got some of that in just a few months. We'll show some of that. It's interesting. The lady that we was talking to just a few minutes ago, and I say this all the time. You never heard me say this, but I know that a lot of people come here to Hollywood. They want to be a star. Nothing wrong with that. They do television, they do film, but they refuse to get up on that stage.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, my dad was a trained Shakespearean actor, started in the Royal Shakespeare Company, the Old Vic. They all have to do their stint, as they say. They've all got to do it. And it's like I think Elton John once said, with his music, how did you start? And he's always classically trained. It's like he learned classical music, you learn classical Shakespeare, and then you go from there, and then you branch out. You've got to sort of know the fundamentals. But I don't think there's anything better than live theater. I mean, for any movie you've seen, there's a play that it comes from, and everything comes from, I think, Shakespeare. Everything comes from the Greeks. Everything comes from live, and then you go from there. Because you don't know what's going to happen on any day. It's like, you don't know if someone's going to forget their lines or do something wrong or get it right. But there's a tension that goes with live theater that I think is really important.
I understand that you were the daughter of a British thespian named Percy Herbert.
That's right. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about him, please.
Oh, my dad. God, I could spend the whole show talking about him, but it's about me, and the play, of course, and everybody else in it. So he was a prisoner of war in a Japanese prison camp for 4 years.
Right.
And from that experience in Changi, which was the name of the prison camp, and in fact, there's a memorial to the bridge on the River Kwai. at Changi now, present day.
Yes.
He was actually in the prison camp that Bridge on the River Kwai was based on, and he actually worked on the Bridge on the River Kwai, building it and the Burma Railway. From that experience, which he survived, 2/3 of the soldiers did not survive. David Lean called on him to be a consultant on the movie, which was one of the first films he ever did, because he'd been there. So he was able to tell him things about that camp that David Lean would never have known about. And after doing that film, then his career kind of took off. And he did Mutiny on the Bounty with Marlon Brando. He did Tobruk with Rock Hudson. He did The Guns of Navarone. He went on and did just about every wartime movie that went on in the 50s and 60s and 70s, across the globe. And that was how people knew his face, because he was in every wartime movie there was. And so that was my upbringing with him. He was quite a character, had an explosive temper. Fortunately, he had PTSD from the war, but he channeled it creatively. And so he could put all of that angst and that energy into his characters. And people would say you never wanted to cross him in a movie. It's like he was always a sergeant in charge, or he was always, telling people where to go. But he always wound up getting killed as well. I remember he was in with Michael Caine, Too Late the Hero. He was Michael Caine. And he said at the time that the extras in Too Late the Hero were Japanese, which was very difficult for him, because the extras in Bridge on the River Kwai were Chinese, and so he didn't have PTSD in the same way. But he got his throat cut, in front of, Michael Caine left him with some cigarettes and said, "You'll be fine." And the next thing you know, he gets his throat cut. And I always hated that as a child. I hated seeing my dad get killed. It was like really not good. But he had an illustrious career and passed away 20 or more years ago now. Yes.
We'll say out of one bad thing and into another. I understand that you are doing a play called You Cannot Know the Hour.
Right, straight from the Bible.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? You got some clue who these people that are working
Well, yeah, Rakesh Petri and Tanya Lane are playing the leads. Rakesh is playing Mr. Brown, who the nurse in the play she comes to see Mr. Brown. He's recovering from an illness. And what you discover is that she's come with an agenda. She has known this man from decades ago. And she's been biding her time, waiting for the right moment to meet up with him and confront him on some malfeasance that happened back in the day when she was younger. And he has no idea who she is. And then it starts to get into, well, actually, there is a memory here. What exactly is she accusing him of? He's very confused about what he's being confused of. She's very adamant about what he did. And it gets into the complexity of, does he remember? Is he the perpetrator? Is she the victim? She's going to kill him. Is she not going to kill him? What is going to happen here? And it ratchets up and up and up until this sort of shocking twist at the end.
The first, okay, we can go right down the line. Mr. Brown, his gentleman, have a picture of him?
Do we have a picture of Mr.
Yes, we have a picture of him.
I don't have a picture of Mr. Brown handy. I have
I understand.
I have this.
Okay.
But if you go to Instagram or you go to our Twitter,
Okay.
Which is You Cannot Know the Hour.
Do you have it by any chance? Mm-hmm.
All of our cast and everything are up on Twitter, so I can certainly
Find it. Okay.
direct you to that. Yeah, it's
35.
Or it's X, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You Cannot Know the Hour. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, he's trying to find it right now. Number 35. Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
you can see who the guy is.
Yes, and Instagram, You Cannot Know the Hour. Yes, we're up there as well.
He's quite a guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. They're all great. It's a very interesting cast, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. While we wait on that one, perhaps we can move on to the next one. The nurse Forrester.
The nurse is the one that's been biding her time. She's the one that's been watching him for years, for this moment to confront him on the events that happened between them. And she's waited for a specific moment when he's vulnerable and he's blindsided. She broadsides him. And it's dark comedy as well. I mean, it's about an aggravated sexual assault that she thinks he did, but he denies it, but she insists that it's him. And it's this back and forth of what somebody goes through when they believe somebody has assaulted them, but they face a lot of denial and a lot of facts that seem to refute this accusation. So the audience is left in a state of complexity and confusion.
Where did you get this idea from?
I got this idea from sitting in a psychology, being in my psychology office for decades, listening to hundreds and hundreds of stories, not just from women, but from men, and piecing together my idea of what people go through in terms of these traumas and the stress and the strain that they go through. Here is the cast. There's Rakesh and Tanya and Taya.
Okay.
And
Can you tell us who the person from left to right?
yeah. So this is Rakesh Petri, Rakesh Dejan Petri, and he plays Mr. Brown. And then there's Tanya Lane, and she plays the nurse. And then there's Taya, who is the ex-wife of Rakesh. She comes in and gives him, some grief. And then there is what we are identifying as the other. And I don't want to say too much about Jenny Skithington, other than she's the other. And the audience it will be revealed who Jenny is towards the end of the play, what the other actually, who the other is.
Like a very interesting group there.
It's a secret.
Thank you, Tony. Interesting group you got there.
Yes, it is an interesting group.
I would ask a crazy question of you. Do you enjoy going to plays? That's a crazy question.
My favorite.
Yes.
I love all plays, but I love supporting, small theater too in LA, a lot.
Yes.
But, grew up going to see plays, and it's probably my favorite thing to do. It's just, there's something exciting about going to see a live play. And musicals. I love musicals.
Oh, interesting. Wow, so many things. Now, where are you going to be playing it this at?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is at the Sherry Theater, which is in Noble on Magnolia Boulevard. And we just got a short run. Previews February 28th, and then we open March 1st and 2nd, and then we do two more long weekends after that. So it's basically a 3-week run.
That's beautiful. And you can get, and there's a telephone number that you can get some information from for.
Well, we're on brownpapertickets.com and we're on Eventbrite. And then the phone number would be 818-645-8300.
Dr. Wood, bless you for the life that you've gotten and what you have seen. We wish you the very best with your new play. Break a leg, as I always like to say.
Great.
And please thank your publicist, Philip Sokoloff.
Yes.
Best wishes.
And our director is Trace Oakley, and we've worked quite a bit together. So he's really doing something with this play, I can tell you.
All right.
Thank you so much for interviewing me.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.
Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Hi. I'm so excited. I had to share. So I'm in a play right now called Jane Austen in 89 Minutes. And I'm trying to memorize my lines. And I always hate memorizing, and I always procrastinate, wait till the last minute, and I struggle to learn my lines. I mean, I get them, but it's like, I should start sooner. Well, anyway, I have just discovered a new...
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw a super performer remembering a day when he learned how to use new lines. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, you can always do something, but when you get to do a new play, and it's called, our guest today is doing it, Beatnik Girl. Beatnik Girl, that's an interesting name. Goodness. Stay tuned, you're all going to be and like it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, top actor, custom designer, Michael Mullen. Thank you, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Good to see you, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you.
My favorite crazy question, where were you born, sir?
Where was I born?
Mhm.
Methodist Hospital in San Antonio, Texas in 1980.
Goodness, that was a place to be in.
Yeah.
A nice place.
Yeah.
Yes. And what was it like being born in that part of the world?
It was fine, you know. Uh, San Antonio is a lovely city. I was an only child. I was born to loving, supportive parents, Patrick and Celeste Mullen, and they, you know, they let me do what I wanted. You know, I was a little spoiled, you know, but they let me do theater and I did some sports. It's crazy that I ever played sports, but they let me do theater and you know they would take me to plays, the national tours at the Majestic Theater, and um, uh, I would go to Six Flags Fiesta Texas and SeaWorld, and they just yeah I had a really lovely, nice childhood. Yeah,
Oh.
growing up with them. Yeah.
Question. Was it actor first or was it custom designer? Or both?
It was actor first. In high school, I did a lot of plays, and I did speech and debate. So I did like I would go and compete at speech and debate tournaments and stuff. And then in college, I was a theater major at USC, and after I wasn't a costume design major, I did acting, and then I went to fashion school and I got a degree in fashion design, and then I just started acting and doing a lot of theater, and then I was in a solo performing writing class, and there was an actress who was on a soap opera at the time in the class, and she was like, "You're in fashion school." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Do you ever have you ever costume designed a play?" I was like, "Once in college." She's like, "Well, I'm producing a play at this theater, Pacific Resident Theater. Would you be interested in costuming it?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I costumed it, and then after that, I started costuming a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then in about 2009, I really started heavily costume designing regularly. And I don't know how many shows I've costume designed theater wise, but it's at least a few hundred by now. So it's something I've been doing a lot for the last several years, you know,
Yes.
the last 15, 16 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Got you. There's two things on my mind right now. I heard you say that you went to USC.
Yeah. USC.
Ooh, you done put me down, man, because I have a thing about me. When we talk about it, we say, okay, there's this, blah, 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 blah. When we talk about USC, USC, USC. Great school. I had a chance to do some lecturing over there
Oh,
and
nice.
really enjoyed it.
Nice.
And of course, with the money that's on that place, you can have a good time at that school. It's always one of the best schools, if not the best school in the world. I love it.
Oh wow! So yeah, it's a great school. I'm going to age myself. I graduated in 2002, and I literally have not been to the campus since then. So I'm sure it was a lovely place back then, but I'm sure it's way more fabulous now. I just
Oh,
haven't been around. I haven't gone back.
oh, you wouldn't believe it. Uh, that's number one. And the second thing I had for you was the lady the two persons that came in before you, and we both agreed to one thing, and that is people get in this business. Some will do TV, others will do film, but they won't get up on the stage.
But what?
They won't get up on the
They won't
stage.
get up on the stage. Yeah. I think I've done a little bit of acting and film, and it's fun. I'd love to do more. So if anyone's watching, hi.
Yeah.
I love acting in the theater. It's so exciting to be live on stage, and you're interacting with your scene partners. Anything can happen. It's live theater, and you have the immediate response of the audience. They're laughing, they're crying, they're applauding. There's nothing like live theater. And I understand it's scary though. It can be scary. It's like you get like stage fright, you get nervous, you know, you're in front of a bunch of people, you get one stab at it, like you have to do it right, or if you do it wrong, you gotta like, if you miss blank on your line or you screw up or whatever, you gotta like make it look like nothing wrong happened, and you just find your place, you keep going. It's live theater. So I understand why some film and TV people are scared to do live theater, because in film and TV, you know, you can, you know, the director can call cut, you can reshoot things, you can, you know, try it again if you messed up a line or whatever. But in theater, it's like, nope, it's one shot and it's in front of a whole group of paying customers, So that's what's kind of scary but exciting about live theater. Yeah, I encourage actors to do all three. Like, do film, do TV, do theater. Just do it all. If you're an actor, you should do it all. It's all fun and great. It's all acting,
Got a small video of you when back in 2019. Roll it, Tony. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. That was taken off of your. You have one of the best devices that I've seen. You have so much information there on your little device. But all that stuff, all those pictures. When you get it home, and we will send you a copy of the show, you'll note that we were talking about different people and how you learn working now that you know how to talk when you're doing a film. Do it faster. And how you do it, just marvelous. And that's one of the good things about being in this business. Learning more, learning. Indeed.
Yeah.
We always say having talent will open doors for you. We always say that.
Yeah.
That's the way I make it feel. Friend, do you stay Beatty?
What was that?
Do you stay Biatty? Beatty?
Batty?
Yeah. Okay.
Do
We'll move on to the next information. You've got a play that you're going to be doing. Can you tell us about the play?
Yeah. So I'm working on a few projects. I'm going to be acting in a really great play by Terrence McNally. It's called Love, Valor, Compassion. I'm playing the role of Buzz Hauser. It's a dream role for me. It's going to be a really great show. It's at it's with Kenwood Players at the Westchester Playhouse.
Yes.
And I'm also costuming some shows coming up. Bat Boy the Musical at Open Fist Theater Company. I Love You Because with Chromium Theater Company at the Zephyr Theater, and Beatin' It Girl at Theater 40, which opens in March. And I'm also gonna Beatin' It Girl. I'm also gonna be going on in one of the roles the fourth weekend of the show. So, So I got a few theater gigs coming up that I'm excited about all of them.
And why shouldn't it be on the way? Because you're a good guy. You got your stuff together. You're here. I always say to people, all right, so what are you doing these days? That's a little son I have there. And you're always doing something. It's where I've been told. I've seen it with my eyes. Tell us a little bit about the synopsis of Beatin' It Girl.
You're sweet. Beatin' It Girl is a really, really great new play written by a wonderful lady who's a company member there at Theater 40, where the show's being done, Lita. And it centers around a girl named Edie. It takes place in the 50s, I think 1957. And she's a aspiring beatnik poet writer. And she lives in New York City, and she's, kind of struggling, and meets this guy, Nathan, who's a successful beatnik poet, and she gets a boyfriend, and she meets friends, and this and that, and just goes through life, and eventually becomes a successful writer by the end of the show. It's a really great, well-written, funny play about a woman's journey becoming a beatnik poet. It's really good. It's really well written, and the cast is really good, and I'm going to try and make them look good. And I love the time period. I love the 50s. So, making people look 1950. I love doing 1950s clothes. It's a great decade for fashion. So I'll have fun.
Especially when it's on New York. I'm from New York.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no offense to LA where I live, but there's no greater city, in my opinion, than New York City. It's the best. I wish I lived there, but I don't.
But you can always move around down there. There's a lot to be done down there. Yeah. Eat that good food down there, meet a lot of people, going down.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
And you can always enjoy. Remember back in those days when the Beatles came to this country?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's something very interesting. Director is Anne Hearn Tobolowsky.
Yes, she's an amazing, amazing director. She's really talented, really good at what she does. She's a great director and a great actress. She does it all. Yeah.
Been doing it a long time too. And of course, you have David Hunt Stafford.
He's an amazing, all-around talented guy. He's the artistic director of Theater 40, so he's the big boss man, and he acts in plays, he produces plays. He's been doing it for decades. He's pretty great. Yeah.
Especially at Theater 40, especially.
Yeah. He keeps that place going. Yeah.
Let's see, 2241 South Marino Theater, drive-in at the lovely Cutler. Let's see here. Beverly Hills at 90212. Free parking beneath the theater. Free parking.
Yeah. Free parking. When you get there, it's Theater 40 is a beautiful theater. And it's only Theater 40's theater, but it's on the campus of Beverly Hills High School. And so, yeah, when you go in there onto the campus, you park in a parking garage. There's free parking, and you come in and see our lovely shows, and yeah, they're really fun. Yeah. I've had a really good time working with Theater 40. I've been involved there for a few years now. I've costumed a lot of plays for them, and I've acted in a handful of plays for them. So yeah, I'm happy and grateful to be part of their work. I love working with them.
Gotcha. Tell us about the cast. There's 5 people in the cast. Who are they?
There's 5 people in the cast. A good friend of mine named Rebecca Del Sesto is playing the lead Edie, and a great actress named Andrea is playing a bunch of women's roles. A friend, Edie's mother, a secretary, another girl. She plays a bunch of supporting roles, so it's a real great challenge for her. A guy named Bradley, who's a great actor. He's playing Edie's boyfriend. A guy named Alex is playing the role of Nathan, which I'll be going on for the 4th weekend. And this guy, Steve, he plays a few character roles. A boss, Edie's boss, Nathan's boyfriend, a doctor. So it's a fun supporting track. He has 3 really distinct fun characters to play. The cast is great. I've briefly met them. Rehearsals started recently, and I took their measurements, and I have to collect and gather and build and put together all their costumes, and eventually we'll be doing tech and dress rehearsal and all that, and then I'll have to find something for myself to wear for that 4th weekend when I cover the guy playing Nathan.
Set design, Jeff Rack.
Yeah, Jeff Rack is amazing. He's a really talented director, set designer, actor, I believe. He's the resident set designer at Theater 40, and his sets are always really gorgeous. He's quite talented. Yeah.
And who was the costume design? Some young man is the costume designer.
Some I don't know if he's so young anymore, but it's me. I'll do my best. I think it's a great play, and I love the time period, and I'm excited to do it. I think what's really fun with this play is the beatnik style, and also there's a couple actors who play numerous roles, right? So it'll be really fun to make them look different for each role, like wigs and different costumes and glasses, and just make them. I like it when one actor plays multiple characters, because it's really fun as a costume designer to make them look different for each character, so that'll be a fun little, challenge. The lead actress, Edie, or the character Edie, she doesn't really leave the stage very much. She's literally in every scene. So, and she has a lot of different looks and costumes in the show. So it'll be challenging to figure out how to get her in all those different looks without her really having time to change. But Anne Hearn's a great director, and she will stage it well, and we'll figure it all out together as a team.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Michael, it's good to see you today. You was looking real good. Thanks for your publicist, Philip Sokolov.
Yeah, he's a
Take
great
care.
guy. Great guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you said that. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you and take care of yourself.
God bless you. So great to see you. Have a wonderful day. And it's an honor being here with you.
You got it. Much thanks to all our guests today, including actress, second unit director, assistant director, Evelyn Rudie, writer, producer, Katrina Wood, and actor, costume designer, Michael Mullen. The Actor's Choice is a presentation of B&B Productions. Rudolph Brewington is the president. Special thanks to our ever-growing audience. I'm Ron Brewington. We'll see you next time.